But before all of that, Theresa May will be launching the government 25-year environment plan in the next hour. She's pledging to leave our environment in a better state than we found it. But with 8 million tonnes of plastic in our oceans, we're asking, is it too little, too late? Well, joining us for our talking point this morning is the head of Greener UK, Amy Mount, and from our central London studios, the chairman for UK Degradable Plastics, Michael Stephen. Welcome to you both. First of all, to you, Amy, is it too little, too late? 25 years, that's an awfully long time to get it right.
It is quite a long time. I mean, I think the first thing to say is I really applaud the Prime Minister for making the environment central to her government's agenda. I think this is one of the critical issues that is going to define this century, so it's right of her to do that, and publishing the 25-year plan on the environment is a good start. I think there's been some smart moves on plastics. But it does need to be really the start of a conversation, and I hope that it heralds a really comprehensive shift across government, because it's not just plastics that's the problem. We've got illegal levels of air pollution in many areas of this country, and we know that nature is struggling, so around 10% of species are at risk of extinction. So what we really need to see is that this leads to an ambitious Environment Act, so we're putting strong targets into legislation so that we can really hold not just this government to account but future governments to account, to ensure that we're turning things around and really seeing the environmental recovery that we need.
Michael Stephen, is the government doing enough, waging this war on plastic? Is it enough, and is it soon enough?
Well, the government is focusing on recycling, and we support recycling, but there's a black hole in the government's policy. Because if the plastic has got out into the oceans, and millions of tonnes have and are continuing to, what do you do about it? You can't collect it for recycling. So our scientists have found a way to upgrade the plastic so that if it does get out into the ocean, it will biodegrade, it will turn itself quickly into biodegradable materials, and then will be recycled back into nature by the bacteria and the fungi that are out there. And if you can collect it before it's got into the ocean, then you can recycle it. So this is what the government ought to be doing. The government of Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates are doing. But our government has just turned a blind eye. They seem to be in denial and think that recycling solves everything.
That is a big question that you raise, because although the will might be there on the part of many consumers, very many things that seemingly are plastic we can't recycle. And although we might want to, we know that simply cannot be done.
Absolutely. I mean, we very much support recycling, but some types of plastic are not worth recycling. The contaminated thin plastic films, for example, it's best not to recycle them. But if anybody wants to recycle using a new type of plastic, they can recycle it. And this new type of plastic can be made by existing plastic factories with their existing machinery and workforce at little or no extra cost. So why aren't they doing it? Partly because they don't know about it. So thank you, Sky News, for giving me the opportunity to tell them about it. And partly because there's a lot of misinformation out there in the media. But we've put all the details on our website, which is symphonyenvironmental.com. And I'd like to invite Amy to come up to our laboratories in Hertfordshire, where our scientists can explain it all to her.